Good evening, Southampton University. I am delighted to be here. Thank you for having me at your TEDx. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to talk about me. You're going to get it later. We're going to talk about how we're going to break barriers and empower women. But we're going to do this together. Now, we all know that there's a glass ceiling, and we all know we have to smash it. But I want to talk about something different. I don't want to talk about corporations telling me what to do, funny little training sessions. Do I look like I need confidence building? No, seriously, do I? No, okay? I want to talk about not a magic wand coming down, descending from the heavens and helping you with your issues. I want to talk about the first barrier. I want to talk about the barrier that I believe matters the most. Me. And I'm going to pause here, because me means the one me, the collective me. And this is important, because when we talk about empowering women, we have to talk about empowering girls. So let's start with me. And we have to talk about educating boys and men. So how do we do all of that? I'm going to tell you a little story. I went to watch my daughter play soccer, i.e. football, and I was noticing that when the girls would run into the field, the fathers were on the phone, the male coaches were like, oh, I'm just so happy they're here. I'm like, are you kidding me? I used to be an athlete. They were running with absolutely no strategy, no skills. They fell. You had these gallant male coaches running in, ushering them off. Does that sound like a soccer match? I mean, seriously. So I took over. I said, I'm going to start coaching my daughter, because this is extremely important. How you nourish your girl matters, because it sends a message. So these girls fell, got hurt. We call them war wounds. They learned strategies and skills. They learned to train under pressure and perform. They learned sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Win gracefully, and lose gracefully. But don't have excuses. Do you know what the transformation was? And this was magnetic. Fathers that were always like this were telling me that they could never make it to one of their girls' matches started coming. And then they started participating. I had girls that would flinch at a ball. Do you know what I did? Put them against a chain link fence and threw balls at them, with their parents applauding. Obviously not to hurt, but psychologically to break me, my barrier. I'm scared of something. Well, not anymore. Usually what you imagine is not necessarily true. And I'm spending some time on this because this is extremely important. Those same fathers who were disengaged, brothers that were looking at clouds passing by, they started coming at me if I benched their daughters with statistics. No, my daughter did so many assists. My daughter did this. They started walking into the fields. They started walking away together, joking around. You saw brothers cheering sisters, bringing friends. You want to empower a woman? Start with the girl next door. Start with your family. A dress and a doll. I like dresses. I like looking good. But how about a Lego for your sister, for your niece, for your daughter? How about a ball? How about teaching her that what you learn in the field, you learn at work. You can apply it. So when we talk about this, I want to make it very clear, and I'm using, of course, Black Panther imagery. One of the things that the girls learned was working together as a team, failing and winning together, not as adversaries for attention. Girls learn that when you support, you get grit, tenacity, and gumption. And they bring that into school, and they bring that into the professional life. So women supporting each other, supporting girls, matters. It's transformative. And we must do it. Now, I've hired and fired so many people, and as we go through the slides, you're going to learn a little bit more about me. But there's also this panic box that I keep hearing. Oh, I don't have confidence. Oh, I need to learn to like risk. or I don't do well under pressure, or I don't have that skill set. Can I tell you something? Neither do some men. So get over it. Okay? Enough. This is not something attributable just to women. This is you, me. This is your personality. Work on it. It's not a woman's trait versus a male trait. So let's stop with that. It's your issue. Control it. Because what is important is that you stop doing this. I need more time, I need more skills, I need all of these different things, and start believing more about this. Take ownership of yourself. In every team, there's a captain. Be it. Let's say that again. In every team, there's a captain. Be your captain. Be that leader. Stop excuses. Start doing this. Get noticed. Build your skill set. Work. Because it's time for you to rise and shine. And it's time for you to break your barrier of me. Now, one thing I have to tell you is here. Gentlemen, you're not off the hook. Okay? I just want you to know. But I just wanted to give a different perspective. Because the Me Too movement is real. Okay? So, just for you all to know, time's up. Okay? You also need to change the culture. You, or me, you have the power to stop this kind of behavior. It's not about being men versus women, just being a decent human being. So, you're not off the hook, but I don't want to focus on you today. Because we have the hashtags, okay? You know your issues, okay? So we don't have to talk about it. But I want to talk about us here. And when we talk about no in the workplace, I hear, oh my God, there's a no. Love the no. Have you ever seen a boxer in the ring cry because they got punched? No, they learn to take that punch and come out. Take no as an inspiration. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Take no as something that inspires you to go forward. Not because I have to prove something to you. Remember, it's about me. But not to disappoint me. Take ownership of yourself. Have pride in yourself. Now, I want to talk a little bit about me. So why in the world is she talking here? Because I spent my career being my own master builder. Because when I started in investment banking in the 90s, you're talking about a Me Too movement? Honey, you haven't seen that yet. Wait until that starts coming out. We were not looked at. I went to political science. I didn't do business. I wasn't within a certain network of people. I was supposed to fail. So sorry, I didn't. I thrived. I was told no all the time. Oh, no, because you didn't go to Wharton. Oh, no, because you don't know this person. Oh, no, no, no. Did I listen to them? Oh, okay. I hear you, but I'm not listening to you. Very important. So I worked in being my own master builder. Of learning on my own, of skill sets, of keeping it real, which means knowing what I don't know and getting out there and finding out that knowledge. This is imperative. Because if you're not going to be your master builder, there is no wand coming down to anoint you with the crown. If you don't think you can be a master builder, who wants to build around you? Now, when I started, as I said, I took on the most misogynist industries, investment banking in the 90s, and then of course that wasn't enough. So then I decided to go to hedge fund management, where I ran a portfolio. Now you heard that I had no idea about investment banking when I started, did very well, ended up being a managing director, and institutional investor ranked #1 in my field. Then, just because I'm a glutton for punishment, I decided for fun to go to a hedge fund. I was invited to come and become a portfolio manager and trade at Brevin Howard, the preeminent hedge fund, which I'm grateful for. But guess what? I had never traded in my life. They gave me significant capital and they said, go do it. Best thing they could do. There's no training. There's no handicap. There was no, oh, let me help you. Live and die by your portfolio. Learn. Grateful. Then I left during the financial crisis, one of the other hedge funds I worked for. And then a country called Kazakhstan said, Marcia, you're somewhat of an expert in financial systems. You have a little problem with your bank. huge collapse. And I went, and I started my own company at that time. But the reason why I'm talking to you about this, because this is extremely important, is because this is when Ireland was blanket guaranteeing. There's a meltdown in the United States. Germany was blanket guaranteeing. I was the only person that stood up and said, no bailout, bail in, which means taxpayers don't pay. Lo and behold, I had all of Wall Street, who knew me, and said, we're going to shut down the country. We're going to close the capital markets. I'm like, no, you're not. Ask me more details at cocktail. But nonetheless, what I ended up doing is changing the paradigm. Investment banks reported into me, the Goldmans, the UBSs, the Lazards. And ultimately, what I did in Kazakhstan, with the help of the government, is create a burden-sharing framework that became an international benchmark. The first successful bail-in. We stopped what was happening, the madness. And now it's a subject of a case study published by Oxford. And guess what? I'm the protagonist, because it was my idea, my implementation, with the help of an amazing team and country. But why am I bringing this up? Because now when women sit in class, in business or policy, they have a woman protagonist. Me. The collective me. Representation. This is extremely important. Now, clearly, being a woman in finance obviously wasn't enough for me. So then I decided to take that barrier, that challenge a little bit further, and I decided to create a tech company. 2014, I came up with an idea for technology. Stopped. Didn't go to MIT, didn't go to Stanford, never worked for a tech company, and I'm not an engineer. Everything, all the no's you can imagine, here. Oh, and a woman, obviously. And not from Silicon Valley. Well, just to let you know, the U.S. Patent is awarding me, the U.S. Patent Office is awarding me a patent. And to make it really cool, I'm the first inventor. Not a woman at the end of a string of a bunch of male engineers, but me as a first inventor. I wasn't supposed to be here. But I became my master builder. I decided I wanted to do a tech company. I decided I had a great idea, and I went out there. And you know what I found out? I found out that only 17% of startups have women CEO and founders, visionaries. And even less in patented technologies. That 8% you see here are not for first inventors in software. It's almost impossible to get one now. So if you want to change barriers, if you want to change those numbers, or any number you see, you need to do it. You need to be your master builder. You need to be the inspiration for the next generation. You need to take control. Acknowledging all the barriers that exist, but break that barrier, take that step. Because there is not one leap that causes anything to occur. There are tiny steps. And let me just pause for another thing. When you think you're lonely and you're struggling in something that is, you think it's all just about you, or you felt like you weren't supported, I appropriated from a poem called Footprints. You were carried, and you are today, by greater women who've come before you. You are carried by their shoulders. You're walking through the path they opened, and with the help of some very amazing men. So the path you're trotting now has been opened to you by others. Be grateful and pay it forward. Because when you open that door, you flip the me into we. And you make the change permanent. Thank you.